Shola Egodofo is on the world at
the world at noon. Nigerian Labour Congress protests rocks states over ASU strike. Send-off festivities begin in Kenya as Uru's tenure comes to an end. In India, 20 died after drinking spiked alcohol. The leadership and members of the Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC) have begun a 2-day nationwide protest in solidarity with the Academic Staff Union of Universities (ASU) as well as other maladministration issues in Nigeria. Already, Labour Union members have trooped out in Abuja, Lagos, Osun, and others, and are now on the streets with placards with different inscriptions. Some of the inscriptions reads, "Nigeria at 60 years independence, more hunger in the land, reduces the cost of governance now, save the masses from poverty and hunger, stop importation of petrol, revive refineries," among others. The NLC leadership had few days ago sent out circular to their state chapters notifying them of the nationwide protest, which kicks off today and continues tomorrow. Send-off ceremonies for President Uhuru Kenyatta have begun as he completes his 10-year term ahead of the August 9 general election. The head of state hosted military bosses and media executives at Uhuru's gardens, where he explained the reasons behind the refurbishment of the facility in Langata. The event was preceded by a Sunday State House dinner with staff. At the dinner, the president thanked the staff for their commitment and dedication to serving the nation. The interfaith prayer service was attended by State House staff from all state houses and state lodges, led by State House Controller Kinunta Imbugwa, Chief of Staff in the Office of the First Lady, Consonance Gankoyo. President Kenyatta thanked the team of architects involved in the refurbishment of the grounds into a 21st century district that celebrates every aspect of the Kenyan society. He recalled that on the day the plans for the gardens were being hatched, he drove to the gardens accompanied by former Chief of Defense Forces, General Samson Iwantete, and current CDF General Robert Kiboshe, which he said shows the kind of activities they were taking place. France President Mr. Emmanuel Macron has arrived in Cameroon at the start of a 3-nation tour of Western Africa as he seeks to reboot France's post-colonial relationship with the continent. A French presidential official who has not to be named stated that the first trip of his new term outside Europe, which will also take him to Benin and Guinea-Bissau, should allow Macron to show the commitment of the president in the process of renewing the relationship with the African continent. Mr. Macron is due to hold talks at the presidential palace with his counterpart Paul Biya, who has ruled Cameroon with an iron fist for nearly 40 years. They are expected to discuss security in Cameroon, which has been riven by ethnic violence and an insurgency by Anglophone separationists who have been fighting for independence for 2 English-speaking provinces since 2017. His visit comes at a time when former colonial power France has seen its influence decline in the face of China, India, and Germany, particularly in the economic and commercial sectors. Mr. Macron will tomorrow move on to Benin, which has faced deadly attacks with jihadists who have spread from the Sahel to the Gulf of Guinea nations. On Thursday, Macron will finish his tour in Guinea-Bissau, which has been riven by political crisis at a time when its president, Umaru Sissoco Embalo, is preparing to take the helm of the Economic Community of West African states. This is the World at Noon, coming to you from Osun State Broadcasting Corporation. Iliawiye Okebale Shulu, Voice of the West. Now, our mid-news message. It is only when everyone works hard that the nation can record a sustainable growth. Contribute your quota. A Japanese man who killed 7 people in a lorry crash and stabbing rampage in Tokyo in 2008 has been executed. Justice Minister Yoshihisa Furukawa told reporters that Tomohiro Kato was hanged at the Tokyo Detention Center earlier today. Japan was maintained the death penalty despite growing international criticism. Mr. Furukawa said capital punishment was a justified response to heinous and violent crime, and scrapping it was not appropriate at this time. He added that Kato had thoroughly prepared to commit the mass killings and atrocious acts that led to extremely serious consequences and had a major impact on society. In the attack, Kato drove his truck down a street in the Akihabara shopping area, slamming into a crowd of people and killing 3 pedestrians in June 2008. Surveillance footage aired by national broadcaster afterwards showed Kato buying hunting knives 2 days before the attack, laughing with a store worker and at times making stabbing motions with his hands. Media report also said he had posted on internet message boards several warnings that he was planning to kill people in the mass attack. No fewer than 21 people have died and 30 others have become ill from drinking sparked alcohol in western India. Senior government officials Mukesh Parmar said the death occurred in the Ahmedabad and Botad districts of Gujarat state, where the manufacturer, sale and consumption of alcohol is prohibited. Local media in India said police have detained several suspected bootleggers who were involved in selling the spiked alcohol. According to reports, deaths from illegally brewed alcohol are common in India, where illicit liquor is cheap and often spiked with chemicals such as pesticides to increase potency. Illicit liquor has also become a hugely profitable industry across India, where bootleggers pay no taxes and sell enormous quantities of their product to the poor at a cheap rate. To be recalled that in 2020, at least 120 people died after drinking spiked alcohol in India's northern Punjab state. Thousands of people gathered in Bosnia and Herzegovina's capital, Sarajevo, to protest possible amendment to the nation's election law and constitution by the Office of the High Representative, an international institution that is responsible for implementing the country's peace agreement. Report says thousands of people gathered in front of the OHR's office to convey the message that solutions based on ethnic discrimination and which are contrary to all democratic and legal standards are completely unacceptable. Devo Sejic, a Bosnian Roma who had in the past appealed to the European Court of Human Rights in Strasbourg, first after he was blocked from running in elections because it was not Bosniak, Croat or Serb, called for protests over the planned changes to the election law. The protesters carried the national flag of Bosnia and Herzegovina. No incidents were recorded and the gathering was secured by a large number of police officers. Earlier in the day, SD leader Barik Izetbegovic said Bosnia needs the authority of a high representative who will protect the constitution and the 1995 Dayton Peace Agreement. And here again are the highlights of the world at noon. The leadership and members of the Nigerian Labour Congress have begun a 2-day nationwide protest in solidarity with the Academic Staff Union of Universities, as well as other maladministration issues in Nigeria. Send-off ceremonies for President Uhuru Kenyatta have begun as he completes his 10-year term ahead of the August 9 general election. No fewer than 21 people have died and 30 others have become ill from drinking spiked alcohol in western India. That was the world at noon, edited by Nathaniel Oyugoke and delivered by Olushola Egbodofo. News talk by Abiodun Babadiya of our sports department.